You suck, your business sucks, and you'll never be successful. How many people paid you $5,000? You ever lied to anybody? Okay, real quick. Anything you see in here? It's over, bro. What's your belief system? You're married, yes, to a woman, or you let your wife wear pants? When I ask you for something and you don't give it to me, are you knowing that you're lying to me?
Lying?
You cannot move being this comfortable. But you be in the crib and your drawers just like, hey, yo. My job is to make you fail. My job is to make you quit. My job is to make you cry. But if you survive it, success is on the other side.
I'm 100% bothered. I just don't show it on the outside as much.
Do you feel something on the inside?
Yes. Every day, all day.
Shaniqua, how are you?
I'm doing good, Dave. How are you?
I'm amazing. Thanks for asking. I got a bright, beautiful smile today. Okay, let's see if we can change that.
Yours or mine?
Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so you're not an entrepreneur, you said?
Not currently. Not anymore.
I think once you're an entrepreneur, you're always an entrepreneur.
Maybe I'm on hiatus.
Yeah, you're just not doing it right now.
Right.
Where you work?
Not confidently. I'm a student. I work with the Navy Reserves, do some funeral honor detail.
Your funeral
honor detail.
Honor detail.
The person who goes to the funerals for the military veterans that folds the flags.
Oh, you fold the flags?
I fold the flags.
It's a lit way they fold the flags, but it must be hard though on you.
Nothing is hard when you practice and you learn how to do it.
No, not folding of the flag, but your job is based around death and people dying?
Nothing is hard when you have to do it like it's your job. At some point, you're not as sensitive about it. Especially in the military, you can't be sensitive. You have to have a straight face.
What do you, outside of your appearance, the straight face, it's got to affect you in some way.
Not anymore. When people start wailing at funerals, yes. But I've been in the military over 13 or almost 13 years. It'll be 13 years in August. At some point, you got to get over all the emotions. You got to make decisions.
But you think that's okay to get over the emotions? You're seeing people die, people losing family.
Yes.
It doesn't affect you at all?
Not as much anymore.
How did it affect you before?
I would have to hold my tears back. Seeing the people who miss their loved ones. Seeing people crying and hugging the person who's next of kin, like maybe a mom or a child. That's hard to see.
Yeah.
But reality is I've gained toughness in some areas of my life.
Good. Okay. Except for entrepreneurship.
Except for entrepreneurship.
What was your business?
Consulting, business and media consulting.
Business and media consulting. Was that your first business?
Oh, no. I've done
so you've been an entrepreneur for a long time. You tried a bunch of stuff and you finally just quit.
I didn't quit. I went on hiatus. You helped me with my language.
She quit, yes?
I went on hiatus.
How old are you?
I'm 32.
32. How old were you when your first business started?
Maybe, honestly, 20, about 20 years old.
So about 12 years of failed businesses, you finally decided to give it up.
No.
You have. You proudly told me that you're not an entrepreneur.
I did. But you helped me with my language. But
the reality is the reality.
You right.
You tried this entrepreneurship thing for 12 years and you said, I'm not doing this anymore. I quit.
I quit being inconsistent. I quit being not what I'm supposed to be as an entrepreneur. Not, there's a time when you just try things out, but then you realize, okay, I know all of these different things. I know a lot more of what it takes. At some point, you got to stop just trying things and pick one and take it serious. And so that's where I'm at.
And finally, out of all these failed attempts, you decided to start consulting businesses.
Business and media consulting,
which is crazy to me.
It's crazy, but I have a lot more experience in that area than almost anything in my life.
But not succeeding at it.
Not succeeding at things in the financial aspect, possibly.
You don't think that makes you a fraud?
Oh, no.
If you're selling experience, not win, You tried a bunch of stuff for the last 12 years, and finally you decide that I'm going to teach businesses or help businesses with their business, but I have no idea what I'm doing as an entrepreneur.
That's not true. I do have an idea.
Tell me.
The idea is to help people with the things that I know I'm good at in regards to business, and that's media consulting, that's business and media. So for example, helping people with their content, like producing something and having that to make money. So I may not know from A to Z, but I do know from A to B, or maybe even A to D, you know?
What?
You want me to say it again?
Yeah.
I don't know A to Z.
Okay, got you. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah. So what made you just hang up the towel and say, no more business stuff for me?
That's a great question. Me wanting to do what God wants me to do. Me having God's...
Are you bringing God into this?
Oh, yes. This whole thing is about the Lord. Yes, Jesus, J-E-S-U-S.
He told you, stop being an entrepreneur.
No, wisdom said stop being an entrepreneur. Wisdom said you need to stop, you need to get clear, and then you need to go all in.
That's what wisdom told you.
That's what wisdom said.
Okay, continue with the, you quit because you want to do what God's telling you to do. Continue with that part.
You remember how I said I have done so many different types of businesses, so many different things, and there's a part of me, there's a part of all of us that I believe knows that what we're doing is not the thing that God is going to be like, well done, my good and faithful servant, right? I want that thing to be my number one focus in my life. And so that's where I'm at, and that's where I had to like hang it up and be like, just take a second. Is what you're doing exactly what God told you to do at this point in your life? Or are you doing it because of other reasons, like because you need the money or because you're tired of living in the place that you're living at? Like, are you being selfish here, or are you focused on what God really wants you to do? That's where I'm at.
I've actually heard that from other people before. When something doesn't work, they blame it on God.
That's been something I considered.
Yeah, but I don't, you don't think, so what do you think you're supposed to be doing?
Ministering to people about the Lord, like
Good.
Specifically helping discouraged believers to be encouraged again.
Good. So you're saying you have to stop being an entrepreneur and you have to work your job to do that.
I'm saying I have to stop doing whatever it is that's distracting me so I can hear clear to know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
Your job's distracting you.
No, my job is providing for me financially.
Cool. Your business could. But the fact that you have to be at your job certain times, certain things or whatever, if your true purpose was to go minister, you need to do something that frees up your time. No?
My time is so free.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm very different than other people and how they make money. Remember, I'm a student, so the Navy actually pays for my education as well as put money in my pocket. I'm in the Navy Reserves. That's 1 weekend a month. And then I do funeral honor detail whenever there's a funeral and I want to actually do it. So maybe 3 to 4 times a week.
So funeral honor detail, you're in school right now.
Yes.
In the reserves.
Yes.
3 obligations, correct?
Yes.
In those time frames, you don't think it hinders you from doing your purpose?
Not one bit.
Okay. I believe what you're telling me is just an excuse because it didn't work out. If it did, if you worked harder and you learned how to run this business and you were willing to like invest in yourself and things of that nature, you would be successful. Then you'd say, well, I'm living my purpose. Yeah. But now we're placing God as a reason why we're not succeeding or why we quit or why we failed at something. And I don't think that's fair.
I agree. It's not. I'm not going to sit here and act like that's not a part of it. I do think that might be 50%, but there is another percentage that does need to be addressed, and that's knowing what it is, right? I'm a person who likes structure. I need things to be structured so that I can stay consistent, I can reach my goals and all those things. But if I don't know what I'm focusing on, then I'm just going to keep going around the hamster wheel.
Got it.
Keep wanting to get off and get back on. It's too much.
So what are you focused on right now?
Getting clear on what I'm supposed to do. Like really accepting it. Because I haven't accepted, a lot of us, like I said, we know what we're supposed to be doing, but we don't want to accept the call.
Yeah. I think I have a unique perspective on what we're supposed to be doing. I think you did get it right, though. supposed to be leading people to salvation. I agree with you 100%. But in terms of waiting on what we're supposed to be doing in terms of career, I don't think that's, I think that's the silliest thing. I don't think God cares whether I have a podcast, I'm a motivational speaker, an author, or a high school basketball coach. I don't think God cares. Even when Christ was here, he wasn't teaching, you need to be in the right. He got a bunch of fishermen and said, look, I'm going to teach you how to fish for men. I'm not going to teach you how to get a big house, not going to teach you how to get a big car or a big horse. It was horses back then, right? Mm-hmm. They were riding horses. Chariots. Yeah. I'm not going to teach you how to have a big chariot. So I think you're right in that regard. But sitting around waiting for you to go to sleep and wake up with a sticky note on your head saying social media marketing, that's not it. I think you've accepted the fact that you're lazy and you're a quitter and you don't want to figure it out. Mm-hmm. And then we bring God into it and blame it on God, saying, okay, God told me to stop, and I think you told you to stop. But I want us to really, really be clear. If you have a mission, you need to figure out how you need to fulfill that mission, because you never, ever ministered to me. I've seen you a bunch. Mm-hmm. So we can't say like that is...
I wouldn't say you're a discouraged Christian either.
You don't know what I am. Okay. I'll preach to pastors because I know they're confused.
Yeah. You
never know.
Right.
Whatever someone puts on the outside has that doesn't dictate what's going on inside with their own belief. Mm-hmm. That's true. And I would imagine that you have other distractions too that aren't just the business.
I have children.
What about the other stuff?
What else is it? Social media, just my phone in general.
But God didn't tell you to put that down. He didn't tell you to quit that.
He
said, yo, listen, you can stay on Instagram and TikTok and all that kind of stuff. But that business, you better quit that.
No, he didn't say quit it. I said wisdom, right?
Yes. Wisdom should tell you that if you had to drop one, what should we drop? Wisdom's telling us. Social media or our business?
I mean, to be honest, social media and business is the same thing, but my personal, just scrolling time, yes, drop that. Stop.
Are you lazy?
Yeah, I think so. I think I am lazy.
Man, if we could fix that.
Wish there was some medicine you not be lazy.
Here's what's crazy. We need some sort of activity to fix the lazy.
Yeah, I agree.
If there's nothing that we're going after every day, then that gives us a full license to be lazy because there's nothing that we're supposed to be doing in that moment.
My point exactly. Like I need something to focus. I need structure. I need focus.
You could pick something and do it.
I understand that. But imagine, like just think about it. There's things that you're naturally gifted at. You're not going to go back to the Cheesecake Factory because you want to serve, right?
Correct.
You find another way to serve based on the things that you've been through already.
Correct.
Based on your experiences. Based on your experiences, you now know what you're good at. You now know what is most impactful that you can do. And so that's where I'm at. I'm trying to just put it together now.
Well, when I started my t-shirt brand, one, I wasn't good at design. I wasn't good at the whole apparel thing. I wasn't good at sales either. But the fact that I had this t-shirt brand with not that good of a design, it allowed me to keep going through different designs to get better at it. It allowed, because I have something to sell, it allowed me to get better at sales. All the stuff that we see that it seems like I'm gifted now, it's because I got into something that I wasn't gifted at and I just kept working it. Mm-hmm. So we don't quit because we don't have the skill set. We have something so that we can work on the skill set. But the issue is sometimes we're so focused on the outcome that we miss the development process in the midst of all of this because the outcome didn't work. You probably should have stayed in the business because you quit everything.
I am still creating content consistent. Well, I'm still creating content.
We all are, aren't we?
Well, I'm still working on my craft and the things that I want to help other people do. I'm still studying. Like I have a whole different brand outside of what I actually, want to do as far as business and media consulting.
You so proudly like I'm still told me that you quit your business.
I did.
Proudly.
I did. So I'm not focused. It's the business part, that emphasis, the business, but the experience is still learning part. That's where I'm I'm still doing my thing there.
You need a business so you can get the maximum experience.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
You need to go get some clients.
Okay.
Not for going to get the client's sake, but for the activity of what it looks like to go get some clients and find out what works and what don't work. And I went and got some clients, but got the wrong type of client. Well, I know I shouldn't get that type of client anymore. But we don't just quit.
Yeah.
And once I think you've accepted the fact that you quit because you just wanted to quit. It wasn't because God told you to. It wasn't because wisdom told you to. Actually, it was probably the most unwise thing you could do in that scenario.
I hear
Wisdom
you.
told you to quit. It doesn't work that way.
I don't agree.
Tell me why.
I don't agree. Because it's more than just, like, you have to think about the things that's causing you to want to quit, right? And
What's that?
Just not being sure. And that's why I have to revert back to, what would wisdom say? Wisdom would say, if you don't know what you're doing, then just stop, take some time, and get clear.
Wisdom says figure it out.
Wisdom also says don't try and be too ambitious. Or maybe that's just what the Bible says, because it can be dangerous. Ambition. Yeah, and I know I'm a very ambitious. I will do.
Lazy can be dangerous too.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's just back and forth.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's test your wisdom. Okay. How old are your kids?
2, 5, and 10.
2, 5, and 10. You don't think it would be wise to spend a couple years mastering something so you can tell this 2, 5, and 10 how to succeed at something and how to not quit and how to figure it out?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think wisdom would tell you, if there's a problem, figure it out. Not because I don't want to do it anymore, but so that I can teach my kids how to stop stopping stuff and figure something out. There's nothing that's not figure outable. So I think wisdom would say we have to be uncomfortable for a couple of years so that we can teach our kids how to be uncomfortable for a period of time. It's not just going to come to you. I'm not teaching my kids to quit stuff. Yeah. I allow my daughter to quit because I don't want to force her to do anything, but she's not about to watch me quit.
Yeah.
So that's why I bring her to work every day, because she needs to see something. Now, she's at horse camp this yesterday, today, and tomorrow, but normally she comes isn't she here? We work. And if I see her sitting down, I pair her with Kay and say, Kay, have her do something. We're not about to just sit around here.
Yeah.
But I can teach her that because I learned it. Wisdom said, go through it, David, because one day you're going to have some kids and you have to teach them some very valuable lessons. And the valuable lesson is when something gets too hard, you quit.
Yeah.
You don't think kids see that?
Oh, for sure. But kids also see the journey. They see the experience. I love when my kids are able to see me creating content, like my podcast or just anything. Like when I'm just putting content on my personal social media, I love when they see me edit. I love when they see me just on my phone and I talk to them about what I'm doing on my phone. Yeah. Because it's not always, everybody doesn't start at knowing exactly what work to do.
Correct.
There's a figuring out part, right?
Yeah.
And I'm at that place where I'm just figuring it out. And I love that my kids have the opportunity to see that part too. Yeah.
So you create content?
I create content.
In front of your kids?
With my kids, yes.
With your kids?
Yep.
That's dope. That's good. What else do you teach them?
What else do I teach them?
Yeah.
I teach them to watch what they say. Your words create your world. I teach them to, even though you feel afraid, it's not that we're not going to let fear, be true. We're going to let truth be true, right? In my opinion.
Are you afraid of anything?
Yeah.
Like what?
I'm afraid of failure in the public eye. Yeah, I know, right?
Isn't that interesting?
Crazy.
Because you let that be true for you.
Yeah.
Which means your kids may see you as a hypocrite.
They might see me as a hypocrite. But you know
You're
what?
okay with that?
Who said that? I didn't say that.
You seem okay.
I do not, actually, seem okay with that.
If you weren't okay with that, you'd probably spend some time before you quit on something, or you let that fear punk you.
We all have our internal dialogues, or what we allow to be our internal dialogue. Yeah. One thing about me, I'm not going to stop reality from happening to my kids, right? Like, they're going to have their own thoughts. I just present something to them with my own life, with my regular life, and I help them to understand what it really should be. Right? So, for example, like me and my son were at school the other day, and at the end of the hallway, he saw something fall. I saw that he saw it fall, but was I going to allow him to allow that random thing that fell down the hall to cause him to fear? No. I just told him to focus on something else, right? Because I don't want him to allow fear to take over. We both know that shouldn't be falling. That's not supposed to happen, right? We don't know, it could have been, tape got unsticky or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Like, reality is we both see things, but how mommy teaches you how to respond to it is where that teaching really comes in at.
Would you agree the things that you teach them and the things that they're learning from you could be different?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
So let's focus on the things that they're learning from you. Mm-hmm. I believe, if not being on this path of entrepreneurship, but I think it's important to succeed in whatever it is, simply because our kids are watching. And I believe if you start to internalize that, you'll go a lot harder.
I don't agree. I don't think my kids inspire me to go harder.
No. I don't think the kids inspire you to go harder. Mm-hmm. I'm saying the things that the person that you can become will be a direct reflection of what they become, I think.
Oh, yeah. I agree with that.
So Truett Cathy started Chick-fil-A. Mm-hmm. Dan Cathy sees his dad going to work every day. Dan Cathy takes over Chick-fil-A and he goes to work every day. And he grows the company to a multi-billion-dollar company. He passes down to his son, Andrew, who is now running Chick-fil-A. Truett Cathy's work ethic and the things that he learned, outside of like being a businessman, I think he probably learned some things about success in different areas of life that he was able to teach his kids. So let's say, for instance, there's a parent who lives in a bad part of town. They go to work 2 jobs, they come home, and their kids see that, and they grow up, and they work 2 jobs, and they live in the same side of town, and that's like generational poverty, because nobody broke it. I think there should be some sort of pressure. Mm-hmm. And the fact that you don't feel the pressure, that could be a problem, because there's some things that you're gonna learn.
I feel the pressure 100%.
Do you? Okay.
But the pressure doesn't always mean you know what to do next.
No. It's not that you don't know what to do, but you do know you need to go figure it out.
Yes, I've said that multiple times.
What you're saying and what you're doing is different.
You're right. David, you've proven my point here. Like, I'm here because I know.
You just seem okay with it, though.
But I'm not okay with it.
It seems like, does it seem like she's okay? Oh,
it seems like you're the perfect Christian, and you don't need nobody to come and inspire you or help you to know that the Lord loves you or whatever. You seem like you're perfectly fine. But didn't you at the beginning tell me you don't know that, right?
What do you mean? Say it again.
You said you don't know that I don't need to hear more about the Lord or whatever, right? You remember that part?
Correct.
Right? So you can't say that I'm unbothered. I'm 100% bothered. I just don't show it on the outside as much.
Do you feel something on the inside?
Yes. Every day, all day.
Let's go back to the funeral thing. You see a bunch of dead people. You see a bunch of families going through it. Mm-hmm. On the outside, nothing. Oh, I got to remain professional. But you also said internally it doesn't bother me as much.
Not anymore.
Right. So maybe we're like kind of stoned to the emotional part.
No, because this is where God comes in the most. You know you're supposed to be doing something with your life, something specific.
Like what?
I'm just saying in general, people, you know that you're supposed to be doing something, but when you're sitting there and you love the Lord with all your heart and you're not doing, and you're not doing anything, it definitely hurts.
Yeah. Describe what you feel right now.
Disappointed. Because I feel like I'm somebody who knows better. Yeah. It's crazy because I know God has called me to encourage those who are discouraged and to shine their light, to do what it is that God called them to do. But for me to sit here and be exactly what I need, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
So I think the masking on the outside can have an effect on the inside. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you're saying, okay, I feel something and I'm okay showing my emotion. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I think that helps you internalize this feeling. Being able to like really, really say, okay, now I have to do something about it.
Yeah.
I've honestly never, you're the first person I've ever met that was really excited about the fact that you quit pursuing an idea that you had. And I think since, you were 20 or whatever, you had these ideas of like going to do something great. Mm-hmm. And then you give up and you say, well, nope, I'm done. I'm taking a hiatus. Listen, you said, I'm the one, remember I told you I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm not into that. That's the first time I've ever heard that from somebody. Mm-hmm. And I never wanted to go so long where you start to feel like it's okay. Mm-hmm. Where we can be cheerful about giving up on the dream. Don't.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
We've got to figure it out. We got to figure it out. So, you have any mentors?
No, I'm not gonna. No.
Okay.
I wish I did, but
yeah.
No.
We're gonna find something. The first thing we're gonna fix is the work. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have some sort of idea. Here's what's cool. We can create a product, something to sell. And as long as we have something to sell, the game begins. Because we can practice getting in front of people. It's not, listen, you got a job, you got money coming in, your kids are eating, right? We're good. Lights are on, running water, we're straight, right? You have a luxury then, which means you can spend time working on you. The more you develop, the better everything you touch becomes. Mm-hmm. I think the things that I'm doing now, when I touch them, they turn to gold, not because there's something in my hands, but all the stuff I've been through.
Yeah.
Listen, I can relate to the start and stop. That was me for sure. I can actually relate to going to the Cheesecake Factory saying to myself, okay, I've been trying this entrepreneurship thing. I haven't done anything consistent for the last 12 months. I haven't done anything consistently for longer than 10 months. No job, no relationship, nothing. I never stayed in a business longer than 10 months. So when I got to the Cheesecake Factory, I said, you know what? I am going to focus on being at this job for 12 months so I can beat my record. So on the surface, it might say, well, Dave, you are quitting entrepreneurship. Well, this is an example of me stopping the activity so I can actually be consistent. I'm working on me being consistent, my ability to do something consistently. But I'm still looking at business ideas. I'm still going to the workshops. I'm listening to the personal development because I never, ever gave up on the dream.
Yeah.
But I had to figure out, okay, no matter how good a business does, I'm going to be here longer than 10 months because I have to fix that part about me.
Right.
So when you get home, I want you to identify a couple areas of improvement for yourself internally. And I want you to gather your kids around and say, listen, for the next 12 months, you are going to see a different mommy. I'm going to be consistent. I'm going to go hard. We're going to stop making excuses, and we are going to go. But y'all, I need you to remind me, the 10-year-old, hey, check on my business every day. When I get home, check on the business every day. Check how I'm doing every day. We need some accountability until we can find a mentor. Mm-hmm. My first mentor, well, not my first, but a distant mentor is Jim Rohn. And I just listen to him every day. I'm listening to these speeches and these workshops. And I felt something start to change inside of me. And that's when I turned off my cable. Back then, internet and cable weren't connected. Like you got internet and you got cable. So I turned off my cable because I said, I I need to focus on doing, I gotta get my mindset right. But if I didn't start getting my mindset right, I wouldn't have had the activity to cut off the cable. And then I found this idea that I thought I was gonna do with this t-shirt brand. Before I did the t-shirt brand, I was still I was doing like internship with my camera. I was doing video work, which sees why I do all this content creation. And I did an intern with a guy named Tyrell, and I would just record and I'd just be around it. I'm not doing a business myself. I'm still gonna be around this thing. I'm not quitting.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm a part of the morning meetup.
Yes.
I understand.
But don't let it be like normal. Mm-hmm. Every time I see you, you need to have a question for me. Hey, this is some activity I'm doing. What you think about this? These are the packages. What you think about the prices? Okay, I hit up 5 people. They said no. Can I give you my pitch and tell me what you think? That's the Shaniqua I want to see. Every time I see you, there needs to be a question about your progress. You understand?
I understand.
Any questions?
Yeah.
You got any question for me? Well, not right now, but
okay.
Any questions outside of that?
No.
You ready to go to work? You got some ideas in your head?
I do.
Good. Okay.
I do.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Give me a
Thank you. Appreciate that.
If you like the video that you just watched, click this one. You're going to like this one, maybe even more. Click it right now.